Hey everyone, welcome back to another video of Appian UI UX development series. And my name is Saf. You are watching Gray on Tech TV. We'll be continuing on navigation patterns as discussed in the previous lecture. So last time we have seen how navigation lightweight works. Now today we'll be exploring navigation stamps. So let's clear the previous code. Go back to design mode. Go back to the pattern. We are having navigation stamps. Drop the pattern and understand how it works. In my perspective, navigation stamps is nothing but a normal navigation without any heading, and we are having just these big icons as stamps, and we are having tooltips. So with this perspective, we can understand like we are having the normal navigation behavior where we would be probably having a choose function. On the basis of choose function, the child interface would be loading up. And as far as I can understand, the icon of the column layout would be narrow. So the width of the column layout would be narrow because there are only, you know, there is no textual appearance, just kind of stamp-based icons. Let's see in the expression mode what is in the code and we'll understand. Okay, so we are having a list of map. This list of map is stored in a local variable called stamp nav sections. And we are having name and icon. So the name is probably used for tooltip as far as we can understand. Workspace, task, requests. And next we are having local bank stamp nav. Okay, so this is something new here. Defines whether to collapse or not to collapse the side nav. So how we can collapse it? Do we have an option? We don't see. We'll explore this flag later on, but with this we understood that the rest of the implementation is quite same. We are having a columns layout defined where we are having first column layout with some contents and the second column layout. So as I guessed correctly, we are having a fixed width column layout, which is extra narrow because we are having only icons. Next, we are having side-by-side layout, which is defining the local bank stamp nav sections. That is nothing but this variable local bank stamp nav sections. And we are iterating upon the every iteration we are populating a stamp field. If you have not watched my video on stamp field, just have a look on the stamp field video. I might have probably covered this in my previous lectures. Next, we can see that we have used a bank stamp field and we have used the same dynamic link logic which is already defined in the previous basic navigations. So with this stamp field, we are able to populate the different icons. Now this icon is different for every item and the tooltip is different. Why? Because we are technically iterating through stamp nav section, which is nothing but a list of map, which is having different names of, names as tooltips for different stamps and the icons for different stamps. With this, we understood that how the icons for different stamps for which are acting as a navigation headers, they are working accordingly. The next thing that we have to take care of is how the actual navigation is working. So in order to make the navigation working, we have to just focus on the choose function, which is nothing but this. This is the choose function. I'll replace the choose function with my previous code as discussed in the previous lectures as well. Let's talk about this one. Displays whether to collapse the side nav or not. So I believe this is a balloon icon, right? That means it might or might not be used. Let's see. Local bank stamp nav. Find this. Okay. No. So what it is showing us is local bank stamp nav section. We don't need local bank stamp nav section. We need local bank stamp nav. So technically I can see that local bank stamp nav is false and it is not used anywhere. So if you see the previous one, we don't have a collapsible uh, navigation, right? So what I can do is just below this loop, I can drop a button, a bank button layout. Button layout or button array layout both works the same because we are dropping a single button here. Uh, Technically, primary buttons would be indenting to the right hand side. So in actual scenario, we should have used a bank button array layout, but let me show you just the functionality. Okay, a bank button widget. Inside that, we are having style as link. Next, what do we need? We need, okay, we need a label. Oh, we don't need label, we need icon. Okay, I need to remember the icons. Check. I think check would work fine. Yeah. Okay. I remember arrow was also an icon, but let's keep it check only as of now, just for your understanding. So we are having a button layout with icon check. Now value would be not of local bank stamp nav and save into would be local bank stamp nav. Now this button will work. Once this button will work, we can redefine the width, make it collapsible or non-collapsible. So if you make it non-collapsible, sorry, if you make it a little bit wide, how will you do it? So if local bank stamp nav is true, that means it is shrinking already, right? You need a narrow width, else too narrow. So here you can see the width is being modified, and later in the code we can implement the same kind of navigation just like we did for navigation collapsible where we are having name. So instead of this, so with this stamps, what we can do, as you can see in the side-by-side layout, we are iterating the names as a stamp field. What we can do is, okay, sorry, uh, inside the side-by-side item, we can have one stamp field. Let's see if it is accepting multiple items. Hmm. Now the item cannot be a list. That's what I was fearing. No issues. Let's grab this out and let's see where we can adjust this. Okay, as you can see, for side by side item in the side by side layout, we can define another side by side item, and inside that we can choose another item as the rich text display field. Now both side by side items needs to be wrapped under a list so that it can be working as expected. So although we are having a stamp, let's see, side by side layout. Side by side layout items, first side by side item, first iteration, and second side by side item for second iteration. So okay, first column layout, and then we are having a side by side layout, the whole side by side layout. Then we are having the values. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, now let's hide. We just need to check the functionality of how the names are popping up and hiding. So, so when not local bank, stamp nav, and comma. So here we can see that the basic functionality of a collapsible section is collapsible navigation is working. So here you can click on it and your heading will, you know, the names of the navigation will wipe off. The moment you click on the button, then they will appear again. So that's what we expected. Although the button needs alignment, instead of button, we need a rich text. And these side by side items needs to be aligned properly so that the headings come at the right hand side with the stamp fields. So these things need proper body shopping, but what I would suggest is you have to focus on the functionality because obviously you'll not be replicating my code. I have an objective to show you the functionality of how the things are working and how we can adopt a pattern and understand the code and make it more feasible for us to adopt it. If you really like my explanation, drop a like and subscribe to this channel. And for more such videos, keep following and keep learning. Thank you.